Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Blaine Edwards, and today we are joined by Michiel van Rooij, co-founder of Profiler, a zero-knowledge advertising platform built to benefit both people and brands, which is completely private and surveillance-free. So, Michiel, cheers for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here. Maybe
No,
a short introduction about
yeah,
myself.
yeah,
I'm
go for it.
Belgian. I'm a Dutch-speaking Belgian. I'm living in Brussels. I've been married since 2 years, expecting a boy in February, so very excited about that. And as to my profession, I'm a technology and privacy lawyer, and I'm the co-founder of Profiler, the Swiss company that you just introduced.
Awesome. Well, firstly, congratulations on the kid that's around the corner. It's exciting times for you. Yeah, very
I know.
exciting. So Profiler, so you're the co-founder of Profiler. Can you maybe speak a bit about what that is?
Yeah, so Profiler is a Swiss company that Sean and I co-founded in 2017. And we are on a mission to give people back control over their personal information. But Profiler is also the name of the platform that we built, which is a consumer app, so an app for people, and then let's say a web interface for companies, which we call a brand dashboard. And then, so there's also something that's called My Profiler or Your Profiler, which is, let's say, a set of data that you build up yourself about you, about what you like, about which products and services that you like, which includes all of your personal information in a secure way to which you only hold the key.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a platform, and in terms of the problems that you're solving, I imagine anyone that's even created a Facebook account or exploring social media, this tends to be a few issues around privacy and data being used, shared without your permission or without you knowing. Maybe expand a bit on the problems that exist in the world that you're trying to solve through Profiler.
Yeah, so everybody knows this, the more that you use apps and websites, the more that your personal data actually grows. So you leave a digital footprint, which means that every time you watch a video, every time you like social media posts, you fill out a newsletter form, or you buy products and services online, you actually consent to the sharing of your personal data with a lot of companies. And I don't know if everybody already tried this, but just go to a cookie policy and click on the word partners. There you'll see between 10 or 100 or even more companies that at that point in time know who you are and what you're doing on that website. And so the problem is that these companies now have your data, and they, at their own discretion, decide whether or not to send you something, what to send you, which channel to use, how frequently to send you something. And there's no way for you as a customer to be part of that. So it's very one direction street. You're just a recipient of all of this content, and that's what we're actually solving. We're building this tool to let you tell companies what you want to receive and what you like and who you are.
Mm-hmm. So let's just dive a bit into that. So the data aspect. So occasionally hear the phrase "data is oil." How can companies tap into that data and then like monetize it? Like why do they want our data from like a company point of view? These different companies out there.
But we don't say that companies are like these bad entities that are trying to collect all of your data. But what a company ultimately wants to do is they want to send you a product or a service that you buy. So they're looking for people that are their ideal target audience so that they can send the right product at the right time. But today, how the model works is that via third-party cookies and via an ethical data collection, these companies just collect as much data about you as possible. And that combined with all of the data they have from your purchase history and everything, just gives them, let's say, an indication of who you are. And then they try to target you as much as possible so that you convert and that you buy something. And we think this model is a bit flawed. Apart from the fact that it's full of privacy infractions, it's also not very accurate. The data they have is often inaccurate. It's often from years ago. It's often just not contextual. And our platform actually allows you to give correct data to a company. So what we say to companies is, if you really want to know your customers or your potential customers, just ask them what they like. Ask them how they want to be communicated to. And then actually actually follow through and actually only send them content when they ask to receive content. And that's not at all how it works now.
Yeah, the idea around being targeted with your data isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think there's probably a bit of stigma around that. But for example, if I really like X, Y, and Z, and I want to see services, products, ideas, content from that particular source, I'd like to receive new information related to that. So there is actually a lot of value from a consumer point of view and also a brand point of view through that exchange of information. But the issue is at the moment, it's maybe, the consumer is not wanting to share that, or there's these privacy issues, or there's these issues that exist in the current system. But the idea of exchanging this information in a way that is consensual, that's actually potentially a good thing for both parties. So maybe that probably leads to the next question of what's your solution to this? So there's a lot of issues that exist in the current system. What are your solutions to try and tackle this, pretty big issue at the moment, to be honest?
Yeah, it's a pretty ambitious issue to tackle, that's for sure. People often say that. So what we've built now is a consumer app, which is, let's say, a consumer-focused and a consumer-centric data marketing and customer engagement platform, which you as a consumer build up and which you as a consumer control. So it's like a pretty bizarre concept, because customer engagement and marketing platforms are normally like B2B platforms. But so we actually build a tool that allows you to build up the most accurate data about yourself. You as an individual just play our gamified quizzes, define what you like about travel, define what you like about food, about fashion. And this one source of accurate data is then just managed by you. And our tool allows you to interact with companies and to actually tell companies, look, if you want to send me some content, I might want to receive that, but do it under my terms. So if a company wants to connect to you, you can select which pieces of data that they can receive. And I'll give you an example. If you want to register for an online newspaper, you only allow that online newspaper to see your email address and, for example, not your physical address, because they don't have to send any physical products to you. And you can also decide which is the cadence of your relationship. So how frequent can they actually send you messages, and what specific things are you interested about? Let's say I want to receive 1 time a week messages about economy and sports, but I don't need to receive anything from foreign policy because I'm not interested in that. And then the ultimate, like the last step is, if a company then sends you paid content, so if they start advertising about new products and services, 50% of the ad budget that these companies pay is shared with the customer. So you as an individual will be able to declutter all of the information that comes your way. And if you get information which you consented to receive, you get half of the budget that these companies pay. That's the platform we have today.
And so that platform, if let's say you allow this company to use your data for these particular use cases, does that advertising occur within your platform, or can that happen outside of that as well?
Yeah, so again, customer choice. So we give you the opportunity to say, okay, from Nike, for example, I want to receive all of the paid content in Profala, but from my local, let's say, NGO that I support, they can send me paper documentation in my mailbox. This allows you to be very granular for each relationship. Let's say you decide the terms of the content that comes to you. But so now in first instance, it's maybe more incentivized to use Profala because you get half of the money that these brands pay. But we're also building technology that allows you to integrate with browser plugins and SDKs in other apps, so that your decisions in Profala also get enforced in other on other locations on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Does the platform kind of work like a data marketplace? Is that kind of how it's like in terms of the usability of it? I'm just trying to imagine me hopping on the platform. Is it like a matter of me hopping on the platform and then it's like a marketplace where I can submit things that I could sell to brands, and then the brands can hop on the platform and kind of filter through different data that they'd like to use and purchase? Or is there that plus like I almost see this as like like has some social component to it. Um, maybe just yeah, is it like a
Clarify that a bit, yeah.
marketplace? Yeah, yeah. Just clarify that particular
So
part.
important to remember, like this app is all about you. So it's not social in that you connect to your friends at this point. It's just all about you. When you come into this app and you see the feed, all of that content in the feed is because you connected to certain companies that you like, or to certain industry categories. Let's say you're a triathlon runner and you connect to a category of like triathlon equipment or triathlon providers, and you can see information about that. But so it's not social at this point. All the content you receive is just specifically for you.
Gotcha.
And in terms of marketplace, yes and no. Don't see it as a place where companies buy data, because it's like a word we consider very bad. We allow a company to access your data, to pay you to access it for a limited time and for a limited purpose. But so when a company comes on the platform, for example, let's say we have a Swiss company that wants to come to Belgium, sell sport watches to triathlon runners. They could filter, okay, all the let's say all the guys in Belgium between 25 and 40 that in their category preference indicate they love sports and outdoors, they're like healthy in terms of food, and they have the budget to buy this kind of watch. At that point, the company doesn't know anything about you. They just know numbers. Okay, there's 11,000 of those. And now that company can send an offer to 11,000 people. These 11,000 relevant and super personalized people can look at that ad. At that point, again, that company still has no personal information about you. And if you like the content and if you want to interact with that company, you can accept it, you get paid for it, and only at that point do they know a bit of information about you. But if you see all of these ads that are relevant for you and you don't accept to open up your profile, you just see relevant content completely anonymized. That's the complete opposite of the internet now. Now you click on an ad or you see an ad, they know you did it. Even if you didn't buy the shoes or you did buy the shoes, they'll keep on sending you the same ad for weeks to come, just because that information that Blaine was on that website of Nike is out there and is shared with so many people.
Interesting, interesting. And I just want to, so zero knowledge advertising platform, is that zero knowledge related to the zero knowledge proofs concept?
Yeah, so the name Zero Knowledge Advertising is something that we created with the University of Madrid. We have a research partnership with the Carlos III University of Madrid's Big Data Institute, and we just finished a paper which is called Zero Knowledge Advertising, a new era of privacy-preserving ad tech solutions. So that's a long introduction to say that we're finding a solution to third-party cookies. So Zero Knowledge Advertising is our answer to third-party cookies, which allows brands to send highly personalized ads to the ideal target customer without there being any exchange of information.
Gotcha.
So a brand doesn't know that you saw it until you click on it, go to their website, check out, and they have to send you the shoes. But that means you can browse interesting content without being known, full anonymity.
Yeah, so it's this ability to share particular information without conveying other information that you don't like. So zero knowledge proof in a nutshell, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the idea of verifying that something is true without you sharing additional information that isn't kind of relevant to that particular thing that you're sharing.
Correct. The textbook example that I give to explain zero knowledge proofs is today, if you go to a bar, they need to know you're 18 plus or like 21 plus in the States. And so what do? You show the bouncer your ID card, and there he sees your picture, personal data. He sees your date of birth. He sees your address. He sees your nationality. He sees all of this information that he doesn't need.
Yeah, which aren't
the only thing that bouncer needs is he needs to know that you're 18 plus. So in zero knowledge proofs, let's say that we put a trusted party in the middle. You show your ID card to that trusted party. The trusted party says, yes, you're plus 18. The trusted party turns around and says to the bouncer, I validate that this individual is plus 18. That's it. The bouncer knows what he needs to know, and you didn't share your personal information. That's a bit the concept.
Yeah, I need to dive in and learn a bit more about that, because it's such a fascinating idea. It's almost like magic in a way, you know, this ability to prove something without actually knowing the full story around it. It's kind of a crazy idea and a powerful idea. This also seems to me has the potential to link into Itala Prism, like identity systems. Is there a way that you're tying into that framework?
Jim, yeah, it's a very interesting question. So yes, definitely. We were just funded by the Cardano community via their decentralized venture capital fund, which is called Project Catalyst, to integrate Atala Prison into our app. So Atala Prison, for those who don't know, is a decentralized ID solution that is part of the technology stack of Cardano. And that will allow us to validate that this individual is who he says he is. That will allow document verification. It's many possibilities. And so yeah, we just received funding to integrate that. We're working with IOHK to see how that works.
Okay, awesome. So you're obviously integrating with Cardano, you're involved with Project Catalyst and all that sort of stuff. What's your reasoning behind, I guess, building on Cardano? What's the logic there?
Yeah, so maybe like one sentence on Cardano itself, for those who don't know. Cardano is an open source and public blockchain platform, which is part of the third generation platforms. In short, it's more scalable and more sustainable than the first and the second generation platforms. And so yeah, most people know that it's built by Charles Hoskinson, who is also the co-founder of Ethereum, one of the rock stars of the space, let's say, one of the most influential people of the space. And Profile, me and Sean, the co-founders, actually had the opportunity to meet him last month in Cape Town and present to him Profile, our Catalyst projects, our token. So we saw him in the leadership team. That was super exciting. And maybe just to clarify, Profile is not an app that is completely decentralized built on Cardano. It's a centralized app for now, with a roadmap to become completely decentralized. But today there's crucial functionalities inside of our application that we're linking with the Cardano blockchain. And just to give you an idea, every time a piece of data moves, every time you let a company access a piece of data, every time you give an instruction to a company on how they can use it or how they cannot use it, we log this information on the Cardano blockchain, not the personal data itself. So we hash or we encrypt your name, the piece of data that was shared, the instruction that you gave on how to use it, the company that you shared it with, and then a timestamp. And so this means that you have an immutable proof of your instructions, of your data with a specific company. So if Nike asks your email address for 3 months for a winter campaign, if after these 3 months they start sending you a lot of content about other products and services, you can go back to that ledger entry and say, look, sorry, I only shared this for these purposes, and this is immutable. This is not Profile. I'm maintaining the entry. It's me as an individual who put it there and who can access it. So that's a bit the decentralized application functionalities that we have now. Now, why did we choose to do it on Cardano? Like for a number of reasons, but like maybe the 3 most important ones. First, the community. I love the community. I love Project Catalyst. So many people are there contributing. They're competing for the same money. There's $1 billion available, but they're helping each other, commenting on each other's projects. So it's super nice for myself to be part of that community and engage. So I think that's very unique about Cardano. And then from a technical point of view, they're faster than many blockchains. So the amount of transactions per second that you can do almost goes to 1,000. And in the future, there's a way to go to 1 million transactions per second. And it's less expensive than to transact on the Ethereum blockchain. And if you know that in our platform, there will be there will be high volume and low value transactions. This blockchain is way more appropriate for us than any of the other ones.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, definitely want to second the community part as well. The community is pretty special on Cardano. Obviously a bit biased and obviously part of the community. So obviously I'd like to say it's awesome if I'm part of it, but it does seem to be a bit different to other communities I've been part of. There's this idea of like helping each other out. Like we're all building something new and it's not, the whole rising sea lifts all boats kind of idea.
Exactly.
I really like that about this blockchain. Okay, so the Profiler roadmap, can you paint a bit of a picture around what that looks like?
Yeah, sure. So this would be a question that is best answered by our Chief Product Officer, Luke, who is the visionary of the team, but I'll give a go. So first we have our app and our brand platform. This is functioning today. This is being tested with a couple of brands. So that is there. And then on the roadmap itself, we have, of course, all of our Cardano technology integration. So we now are funded for 4 projects, of which Atala Prism was one of them. So this is very important for us. We have a very cool NFT use case. We have like data sharing use cases. So that's our team is working hard on these different projects. Then on the roadmap is, of course, our zero knowledge advertising solution. So the research paper is now ready, and we're working with IOHK to see how we can integrate their existing technology to make this, let's say, decentralized and anonymous ad tech delivery system possible. And then, also an important one in our roadmap is now our zero knowledge token. So we made our own Cardano native token. It was minted on the 22nd of November. 500 million of them, and these tokens will be used to, let's say, kickstart network, to reward people to take certain actions in the app, as a means to do low value, high volume payouts, and so it will function in the application in many different ways.
Okay, so there is a token. Is that available to purchase by the public? Are there token sale rounds coming up?
Yeah, so we're currently in our private round. So this will probably be ending by the end of January. Yeah. And our public round is foreseen in Q1. So between the end of January and, let's say, March 2022.
Gotcha.
Will be available.
Yeah, awesome. And so this is an idea of the roadmap. How about the team that is planning to build this out?
Yeah, so who are we? So Profile started at the end of 2017 when I was working for the European Center for Nuclear Research, or CERN, in Geneva. I looked on AngelList, and I found an announcement by my now co-founder Sean, who was looking for a privacy lawyer and somebody with crypto experience. And I thought, oh, fun, let's hear it out. So we started then with the 2 of us, and we were quickly joined by Luke Bragg, an American also living in Switzerland. And the 3 of us are a bit considered the co-founders. But now we're almost with a team of 25 people. So we quickly grew. We have now 10 people that are in the operational team, day in, day out. We have 5 developers, and they're from 10 different nationalities. So it's a very multicultural team. Then we have 5 developers working full-time on our Cardano integration and our app development. We have salespeople contracted. We have 5 advisors that are very crucial in our growth. We just hired 5 more community managers. So the team is growing month per month.
Awesome. Team of 25 at the moment, did you say?
Yeah, so not everybody is full-time. Let's say the advisors, they have their own jobs, and they're crucial with their knowledge and network. But community managers, the full-time 10 in the team, the 5 developers, they're all full-time.
Interesting. Cool. That's awesome. For the people that are listening, speaking of the community, for the Cardano community out there, obviously a lot of them like what you guys are doing because I've voted for a couple of your Catalyst proposals already, which is pretty awesome.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. How else can people support and connect with Profiler?
Multiple ways. If you want to know more about Profile, you can of course go to the website, which is profiler.com. If you want to know more about our token, the use case and sale dates, that's on our token sale website, which is ico.profiler.com. We of course put a lot of information out there on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, Telegram. All of these links you can find on the website. Of course, we have another proposal in Fund 7. Under dApps and integration. So if you want to vote for that or give us kudos, that's much appreciated. And if you just want to chat with me, Michiel@profiler.com. I'm almost always available and happy to talk Cardano or Profiler.
Awesome. These so you've got a Fund 7 proposal out at the moment. So we'll include that link plus your socials and everything else underneath, and people can connect with you guys there. It sounds like a much needed application, a much needed platform, because the social media thing, it just seems like there's ways to improve upon that existing model when it comes to social media data and advertising, that whole relationship. And like we kind of touched on earlier, it's a massive problem, which also presents a massive opportunity if you put your hand up to try and address a lot of those issues. So, an exciting thing to be a part of, from you guys as the team building it out, but also like the community jumping in and supporting you guys from the the earlier days. Yeah, super exciting.
Yeah, it's a $900 billion industry, the advertising industry. So that's now only Facebook and Google are on it. So in that way, there's a big opportunity for us as a company. And from a personal point of view, let's say, I don't like Facebook and Instagram and all these platforms anymore, because I used to go to Facebook to see friends, and to Instagram to, let's say, see pretty pictures. But now this gets completely cluttered with advertising, and you have not really anything to do about that. So that's a bit what we try to solve, like pull all that content away, all that commercial content away from your own platforms and put that to us.
Yeah, the current business model just doesn't work. It's broken at the moment. When you think of, I haven't used Facebook in ages. I'm not hating on Facebook. Well, I kind of am a little bit. But like, you have the platform, you have the consumers, the content consumers, and then you have the content creators. You have this like kind of triangle. And it's, it seems to be just optimizing for the platform part of things. And ignoring the consumer and ignoring the creator. And, obviously that isn't a sustainable approach, because they all need to kind of work in harmony for it to be sustainable. So yeah, I think you guys have nailed a problem that needs to be fixed, and a highly profitable one as well. What number did you say? 900 billion?
So now I think we're around 230 billion, but in 2025 we'll go to 900 billion.
Scheduled for that, yeah.
And just imagine that half of that budget goes to people actually watching the content. It seems pretty logical that would happen, but that doesn't happen today.
Yeah, well, there's that kind of flips the model on its head. It's almost like I'm getting paid to participate in this. It's crazy, but like in theory, there can be a model that exists where that happens, which is the exciting part. Closing question. Speaking about all these exciting things in the future, what excites you the most about the future of Cardano and maybe just blockchain in general?
But I think so Cardano itself is a super ambitious project. I love listening to Charles talk about the future and how they're going to get there. His ambition to become a Fortune 500 company, which I believe that they can actually do. So like if you look at the work they're doing in Africa now, in Ethiopia with the government, it's all super exciting, and it's just beginning. So I really believe in Cardano's technology, which is very promising, and also in their ambition. And then of course in the community around it. So we as builders on Cardano, we can follow that journey. So I'm looking forward to remaining part of that.